How's it going, everyone? Jesus here, aka Tyrant Dominus, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Honestly, Anchor is a very enjoyable platform to be on, listen on, and just a joy to be a part of this community. Anchor, come check us out. And welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to bring you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about the supernatural horror film Antlers. This is a movie I wish I would have watched, and it would have been good for the season of Halloween last October. But it's one of the films that it came out. It apparently appeared early October 2021, but wasn't officially released theatrically throughout the United States until October 29th. By that time, I was busy with other stuff, but for sure this film would have been a very fun horror movie to watch during October. So it's a bit of a late watch, but I'm glad I watched it. It was originally supposed to be released back in April of 2020, but it was delayed twice because of the pandemic. But going into the story, it kind of just follows this school teacher and her brother, who's a sheriff of this small town in Oregon, who discover that one of her students is harboring some supernatural creature. And it's a very interesting tale of... It's not really a big spoiler, but this is kind of the tale, or one version of the tale of the Wendigo. And for the most part, the film is very, very eerie and creepy, in the sense where I've recently been watching a lot of faster paced films. For sure, this is a slow burn of a film, but is it worth the build-up? Yes and no. Like I said, this is a spooky film, and to say the least, I did enjoy myself watching this movie. The cast, who were the main people here? They were, let me see here. Carrie Russell, who played the school teacher. Let's see here. Who else was it? Who played the young boy? Jesse Lon Filmons played the brother. I'm trying to see the main characters, the main people who were on the screen. Clint? No. Was this Lucas? Jeremy T. Thomas? Is that the young kid? Double check that. Yes, Jeremy. Wait, is that the... Or was it... Yeah, I think it was Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy T. Thomas was the main young boy playing in the role. But yeah, these were kind of the three main leads of the film. with who we're following through this. It's a bit of a slow review in a sense, where a lot of the shots they did, because there's when talking about most of small towns in Oregon, you are going with a lot of the landscape, the forest, some interesting views. So cinematically, it was very well filmed. A lot of the small ports, a lot of the backgrounds, very, very, very true to form when it goes to that. A lot of the mines and stuff like that. It had some good atmosphere for sure. The acting itself was, for the most part, believable. There were some hiccups here and there, but I would say that's due to some of the narrative and some of the writing, I would say. Because for the most part, the actors and actresses did their job. Some of it just didn't flow right, depending on some of the things they were saying or doing. There are a couple niche tropes that, for the most part, I would say the first half of the film kind of stays away from some of these tropes. But the later half of the film, you fall into some of these horror tropes and okay, sure, I'm in it. Why not? The plot of the film itself, of these three main characters, the teacher, the sheriff, and the young boy. Originally, when I watched the trailer, that's what I was hoping for, this very interesting horror factor. Without going too many spoilers, it just didn't feel like it worked that well. When it comes to stories of monsters and involving a young child, you usually get it from the child's perspective and the parents and not believing it. But there's this feeling that this film doesn't present itself well enough, that when you're watching it and it's being shown to you in face value, it kind of is hard to build this level of fear. There are some very interesting horror elements for sure. There are a few jump scares that do its job, and the creature itself is very menacing. But the build to get to there, the way this film presents itself, it did not work that well, since it's not very well hidden. And when dealing with monsters in that sense, it's just, I wish it was like I said, I wish it was more hidden and only in the eyes of the child, to the point where when you finally see it, it's horrific. You get glimpses of it here and there, but it's not very well presented that well, and it just doesn't feel deserved at the end when it's horrific. Plus the final act is somewhat tropey, and there are some notes for this. Originally, I believe this was originally an actual short story. This is originally adapted from an old a short story called The Quiet Boy, that was published back in January 2019. And I want to look into that to see what it was, because the premise is really good, and I like stories involving some of these other lores. The Wendigo itself is a very interesting creature, and the way there's many different ones, but there's the original native lore that's in my opinion one of the more interesting ones. And the way they did some of the topics that this film kind of presents itself with, some of the character development between characters, and the way they're here's who the teacher is, and this is their character, and what their problems are to involve itself. There's a lot, and there are points where it's okay, it just didn't feel like it it worked to resolve itself properly. I would say that. It just didn't feel like it resolved properly. Like, if you're going in there without really thinking about it, you're just going in there for a horror film, it's a reasonably good one. Like, it's good. If you're trying to go in and trying to, like, extrapolate a little bit more from it, because there is some elements that they're trying to portray, and like it's there, and like it's like you can get some meaning from it, but the way the way the movie flowed and presented everything, it's just like it's okay. But yeah, like for me, this film overall was just a fun, good horror film. And I got a few creep factors. I like I said, I didn't like some of the finale stuff, but there are some resolutions that needs to be made towards the end. So that's kind of what it needs to be. For the most part, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give this film a solid 7 out of 10. The reason I say 7, it's good. It's a good movie. It's well done. The creature itself is horribly scary to watch on screen. For sure, it's a lot gorier than I was expecting. But yeah, it doesn't hold back on that. It's like you get freaked out sometimes, for sure. But it's some of the other elements that kind of hold it back of what they're trying to persuade, in my opinion. Doesn't work well. But yeah, solid 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought about Antlers. Were you able to watch it? Were you gonna watch it? Yeah, so yeah, thank you for listening. As always, you can message me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Leave a comment below if you're watching this on YouTube. So, thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya.